Wanted to go ahead and do a quick video tonight and talk about why it's important to stand up for things, even though some people may not want to or don't stand up for themselves. I am also in the middle of doing a blog post, so you might see me look away from the camera from time to time, hear my mouse clicking, etc. This video will be posted up here on the blog, myconstitutionalrights.us. Actually, today, what I'm doing is I'm writing a blog post in that blog, No Justice in the Heartland. But one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I had it all the time when I was a union steward for the UAW, they used to say to me all the time, you got to stop writing all these grievances. Have somebody else write a grievance. You don't have to be the one to do it all the time. This makes it look bad for you when you write all these grievances. And I guess to respond to that, I would just say to those individuals, somebody's got to do it. If I don't do it, somebody has to. And it's clear that nobody else is going to do it. So I'm going to do it. Whether it was popular with my union bosses or whatever, that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. I get asked a lot why I take things so passionately in dealing with situations, and that's because I can say personally that I've had two family members die at work, two people that went to work that were going there to do their job and provide for their families that never came back home that day. So that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is because if somebody doesn't speak up, it's just going to continue to happen. I believe in transparency in the government and being fair with each other. The government wants us to follow their rules, their policies, their guidelines, but yet you can't reach them. I've been trying to get a hold of my senator, Chuck Grassley, for 6 months. And it's a joke when I call him. And the worst thing about it is he's from a small town in Iowa that my grandparents lived in. I mean, they raised their kids in that town, and Chuck Grassley won't even call me back. And that's why it's important to do the right thing, irregardless. When it comes to getting back to people, that's how you build relationships and trust in who you are and what you support. It's easy to go off half cocked and pissed off and getting mad at people when things don't go your way. And I'm guilty of it too, because I get passionate and doing the right thing. And sometimes I get caught up in my own frustration. But you're not going to get anywhere doing that. You're much better off showing them how much more intelligent you are just by following simple steps. When I go for information requests, I get them denied all the time. Denied. It's confidential, denied. It's way too much money, more than I can afford or more than I'm willing to pay for it. And they do that to keep me from accessing the information. But the fact of the matter is, I don't stop there. I continue to use the system that's in place to make sure that I'm going to get access to that information, or somebody's going to be held accountable for it. So it's important to follow those steps, and it's important to do the right things. I get, like I said, a lot of people ask me, why do you get so frustrated? Why do you get so passionate about something? It's because, when I was elected in a couple different positions, and I was appointed a position, and I was appointed that position simply because of the fact of my dealings as a steward. I never accepted that things were not going to be done the way they were intended to be done. There was processes in place for a reason, discipline for when those processes were broken. And it was just so much easier just to do the right thing. You get policymakers to make policy and laws and legislators, and then you get judges that use their own personal policies or their own personal opinions, and they try to write law instead of enforce law. And it's things like that make it important for you to continue to petition your government for your grievances and doing the right thing. If you work smart and wisely, you will get much more ground covered. And I can tell you from some pretty serious arguments and with a lot at stake that it's that I was able to come out ahead because at some point I was the person that said, okay, that's fine, we'll do it this way, but it's going to get done either way. So it's I just want you to focus on being the when you believe in something like I do, like I believe in the Constitution of the United States. I believe that people went to battle for this country to protect those freedoms. And I believe that the government and other people have infringed upon those freedoms unfairly. But that doesn't mean I'm anti government because I believe that the government needs to have some role in it. But it's gotten to the point where not enough people support what those freedoms truly are. You got Second Amendment people that are just saying, hey, we just want our rights. It's right here in black and white that we can do this. And they get shook down. They get tased, they get thrown in jail. But a cop can walk down the road off duty and never get a word said to him. But you or I walk down the road with a pistol and we're screwed. I mean, we're screwed. The cops are going to get called. We're going to be suspicious. We're going to be blah, 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 And I can remember standing with a gun pointed at me at a job one night where a cop thought he wanted to make a name for himself. And I refused to back down in that situation. I did. I said, I'm not going to answer your questions. I don't care about that gun in my face. I'll be calling the mayor first thing tomorrow morning. And that's what I did. And it was taken care of at that level. But the whole situation is that I should have had every right to also pull a gun under the Second Amendment. But in this instance, in our situation nowadays, that's not the case. And it's important for people that believe in their rights and that fight for their rights to make sure that they get involved in things that it takes to make people understand, that you do support your rights, like the right to the Fifth Amendment, not saying anything that could incriminate yourself, that is extremely important, and people don't understand that, and they think that cop's their buddy, and he is because he just needs to get the case solved. Once you confess to the crime, he don't give two shits about you. It's already done. He don't care about you. You've already confessed to the crime. So they will do everything in their power to try to get you to break that Fifth Amendment. When you plead the Fifth, they'll say, okay, well, we're just going to have to put you in jail or whatever, or you're just going to have to sit here in this room for several hours while we don't do anything with you until you start talking to us. And the thing is you have a right to leave at that point, but they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that you can get up and walk out of there. But when you invoke that Fifth Amendment right and you tell them, I'm not going to answer any of your questions, then you need to say, am I free to leave? Unless you've committed a crime and they've got you truly investigated for a crime, not some bullshit policy that they've made up or some local agreement that they have, make sure it's in black and white, then I'd suggest that you comply with whatever instructions they tell you. But I think at the same time, it's important that when you believe in something, you need to support that belief with getting involved with organizations. There's Second Amendment people that, and I am not saying Second Amendment people like in a bad way, because I believe in everything they do a lot, and I think the intent really truly was that, we need to be able to protect ourselves at all costs. But unfortunately, the only people allowed to protect themselves wear badges. So, I'm so pro Constitution with the 14th Amendment that if you're going to apply laws, they should apply equally to everybody. I recently called the Attorney General's office and asked that an officer be reinvestigated because he's on his own dash cam punching a handcuffed, face down individual. And the Attorney General says that there's no evidence of a crime was committed. But the guy is clearly getting his ass kicked, or at least the back of his head pounded in, being called all kinds of names, his hair being yanked out, and this is on a police dash cam. And our Attorney General says there's not enough evidence to substantiate a crime. Of course, I haven't heard back from. I don't think I will. But it's important when you see and hear stuff like that to continue to get involved. My constitutional rights. It's going to be a great, great opportunity for you to join our newsletter, get involved with contacting legislators, and opening up lines of communication. I believe communication and education are two of the